Greetings, Earthlings. How y'all doing out there? This is Shadra from Elevate Consciousness, and today I wanted to reveal the true esoteric meaning behind Interstellar. Interstellar is a movie expounding potential theories on how science and spirit are one. The spiritual concepts it theorizes on are love, synchronicity, and God, by using scientific ideas of gravity, time, and higher dimensions. This is expressed from the very beginning of the movie when Murph says a ghost knocked down her lunar lander module from the bookshelf. Her dad Cooper tells her ghosts are not a very scientific idea. Ghosts are spirits, non-physical entities that represent the spiritual. Murph then replies, science is admitting what we don't know. Symbolically, she's communicating that science has been unable to explain or disprove spirit, an idea which is analogous to consciousness. In essence, spirit is consciousness with different connotations, and so far the use of scientific method has not discovered what happens to our spirit, our soul, our consciousness after we die. Scientifically speaking, we don't truly know if the spiritual realm exists or not. Cooper explains to her if she wants to discuss the science of it, that she must record the facts, analyze it, and present her conclusions. If she wants to talk about spirit, she must provide evidence. The idea here is that perhaps one day we will use science to prove the existence of spirit, and the two will merge into one all-encompassing truth. One of the main concepts of the movie is gravity. And what is the spiritual counterpart of gravity? Gravity is love. At one point, Dr. Brand says, the only thing that can move across dimensions like time is gravity. She later states, love is the one thing we're capable of perceiving that transcends dimensions of time and space, and hypothesizing love is an artifact of a higher dimension. Gravity is the force which pulls objects together, and it is the magnetic force that likewise draws people together. When Cooper leaves the powerful pull of Earth's gravity, this is very similar to when he leaves the pull of his daughter's love. There is no physical force making it difficult for him to leave his daughter. Yet, in one of the most emotional scenes in the movie, he can hardly bear to leave her, for he knows he may never see her face to face again. Metaphorically speaking, is leaving Earth's gravitational pull any less difficult than it is to leave those whom we deeply love? Furthermore, this force of love is what pulls Dr. Brand to find her lover, Wolf Edmonds, on the third potentially inhabitable planet. Cooper argues that love is just an instinct programmed within us as a social utility, so that we will have children and work together. Dr. Brand replies we also love those who have passed on, and there is no survival utility in that. So love is about much more than just survival of our bodies, survival of our species, survival of the physical. It has a deeper meaning that science alone may be unable to as yet determine. The senior Dr. Brand explains that they have two plans for saving the Earth. Plan A is for him to solve the gravitational problem of moving all of humanity and everything they need to survive off-planet. Plan B is to start a whole new civilization while those left behind perish from starvation and lack of breathable air. In Plan A, the gravity could also be seen as love, because solving gravity would save the entire human race. In the same way, solving the problem of love, the problem that lies in the heart of humanity, is the only thing we need to save ourselves. Imagine a world with no more war, no more competition for resources. A world where we saw each other as family and countries work together for the common goal of cleaning up the environment. Is there any problem that the combined people of the world, given all of our technology and manpower, could not solve if we could only work together? If we could only love each other? Cooper mentions hearing NASA at one point getting shut down because it wouldn't take part in the dropping of bombs on starving people. It seems only the threat of extinction was enough to get humanity to stop war with itself. The implication here is that humanity has yet to solve the problem of love. Synchronicity. Synchronicity is a concept that was introduced by famed psychologist Carl Jung, which describes events that are meaningful coincidences yet seem to have no direct causal relationship. It's an easy idea to dismiss, attributing such phenomena as the inevitable result of so many occurrences happening in existence. There would eventually be some incidences that occur in tandem. While logically this is true and definitely not all coincidences are meaningful, such logic does not disprove the idea. The rarity of such an occurrence and the precise timing of the event are clues as to how meaningful the event is. It is a so-called message from the universe, or is it an effect of consciousness on reality? Any such ideas must be looked at critically. Nonetheless, it would be foolish to dismiss such happenings as mere chance. If such phenomena do exist, that would create a completely different frame of reality than modern-day science currently has to offer. I personally have experienced powerful synchronicities that have guided my own life's journey. The greatest synchronicity of all is life and existence itself. Is reality and existence just a meaningless, inevitable result of a Big Bang, particles, waves, and molecules? Is love just the release of biochemicals in the brain? If such is the case, then the only meaning in life is to survive. But then, why does not survival alone bring happiness? Synchronicity is essentially what is leading the most important decisions throughout the movie. Cooper and Murph find patterns in the dust in their study room made by gravity, and from these patterns, Cooper uses binary to determine coordinates which lead him to finding NASA's hidden headquarters. The NASA scientists ask how he found the place, and at first he cautiously describes the means as being supernatural, again indicating there is a spiritual force at work. The scientists are visibly excited when Murph says the anomaly that led them there was based on gravity. Later, as Romilly says to Cooper, NASA had been finding gravitational anomalies from 50 years prior, eventually leading them to their chosen plans to save the human race. Gravity is what helps them find the wormhole. When Senior Dr. Brand is trying to convince Cooper to help with the mission, he says, "Something brought you here. They chose you," indicating the random occurrences related to gravity are what led Cooper to NASA and are not random at all. It is synchronicity, it is serendipity, it is an aspect of reality that we don't yet understand. Again, indicating the definition of science broadening to include what were once thought of as spiritual concepts under the umbrella of science. In other words, science and spirit are merging to become one. As we later find out, the gravitational anomalies in Cooper's house are actually caused by Cooper himself, operating out of the fourth-dimensional hypercube, aka tesseract, of the future. There's the mathematic and scientific aspect of dimensions. The first dimension is a straight line. The second dimension is a flat plane. The third dimension has depth. And theoretically, the fourth dimension is time. There's also the idea of a dimension that is beyond what our physical bodies or instruments can detect, which could be termed spiritual. Spiritual means beyond the physical, material reality. Being in the fourth dimension means being able to perceive time and space as one. Instead of perceiving time moment by moment, he's able to perceive the fullness of a single timeline, able to go backwards and forwards through time by traversing space. Via the matching synchronized watch he had given Murph as a child, another symbol of synchronicity, he is able to communicate with her using gravity and his love. The force is able to transcend time and space, because the higher dimensional beings have made it possible for him to exist in the Tesseract. Cooper gives Murph the quantum data that TARS has gathered from the black hole, and she solves the problem of gravity, thus saving the human race. As the hypercube closes, Cooper has the realization the higher dimensional beings that have been leading them through synchronicity are future humans which have evolved to the fifth dimension and beyond, like the baby at the end of 2001: A Space Odyssey. In 2001, evolution was also guided by a higher mysterious force. In essence, he is explaining what God is, and God is us, a consciousness that is forever expanding into infinity, primarily motivated by the power of love. This idea of us humans having an aspect to ourselves that is godlike and in a higher imperceivable dimension is also the deeper meaning of Tron, with the programs in the computer world representing normal everyday people. In addition, Interstellar has some interesting parallels with A Wrinkle in Time and Contact, films that also connect spirit and science. In A Wrinkle in Time, Meg must learn to wrinkle or fold dimensions of time and space by use of consciousness and love in order to find her father. In Contact, humanity's evolution is guided by higher beings via consciousness and the power of love. Just like in Interstellar, the existence of these beings is spiritual in that their existence cannot be easily proven, only experienced by the person chosen to be the bridge between humanity and the higher beings, which would typically be the role of the shaman. Another link between Interstellar, A Wrinkle in Time, and Contact is the theme of very intelligent daughters having a strong connection with their father. This is the archetype of Athena, born from the body of Zeus and strongly influenced by the male father archetypal energy. She is the goddess of war and justice and the keeper of wisdom. with the wise owl as her totem. In the conclusion, humanity is saved, forced to evolve beyond itself by utilizing spirituality and science in order to grow beyond our home of Earth. And Cooper is again drawn by the gravity of love to go rescue Dr. Brand, who has been stranded on the far-off planet. The naming of Cooper's daughter Murphy is a reference to Murphy's Law, which states, anything that can happen will happen. Cooper says this is meant to be taken positively, and in terms of the film, it means that if those occurrences which we consider to be miraculous can happen, then they will happen and become part of science. Considering how little we truly know, the possibilities are great indeed. Murphy exemplifies this law by solving the seemingly impossible problem of gravity. For humanity to evolve, we needed to master the material world and the physical laws of the universe. Furthermore, we needed the spiritual aspect of reality. We needed courage, we needed will, we needed the motivation and inspiration of love, and the realization that there is more to existence than that which is easily definable. Without one side of the equation of reality, you cannot have the other side. Everything is one. I hope you all enjoyed that. If you did like it, please like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Shadra. Peace up and elevate consciousness constantly.
Can I be on a road ship at a warp speed on a hyper chase? Can I go explore beyond? Can I be so far gone? Can I let the world know that change is here, this time has come?